What's up guys, I'm Phoenix Master 1 and welcome to my Forma building guide for this month's Hall of Forms featuring Fallen Edelgard, Fallen Dimitri, Winter Bernadetta, and Sothis. We're going to be having the skills up to the Emblem Marth banner, so the skills from the Valentine banner are not going to be there like Earth Fire Boost, and just again a reminder that you should be doing your Hall of Forms grinding on Chamber 25 so that you can get the tier 4 skills a lot easily. Starting with Fallen Edelgard, she used to be a strong unit 3 years ago when she came out, and back then we didn't really have damage reduction piercing as we have nowadays, so she used to give a lot more trouble, but nowadays she's a lot easier to kill and her main usage is going to be in Aetherite's offense as a Gale Force unit, because unlike a lot of the other Edelgards, her extra action is not locked behind some kind of slot B skill, so she can run Wings of Mercy and still get the extra action out of her weapon as long as she's transformed. So that is going to be her main competitive use, but when it comes to tanking, she's really not going to be that reliable of a tank despite her preferred weapon Twin Crest Power, which does a minus in special cooldown. So it is going to be making Gale Force into a 4 cooldown special, and also any kind of Armored Blaze, Armored Beacon into a 2 cooldown special. She does inflict minus 6 attack and defense debuff on the foe in the combat, and it does have the Weary Fighter effect built in, so unfortunately she's not going to be able to easily double, which is a bit of a drawback because a lot of the offensive nukes are just going to be having the half null follow-up, and they're going to be bypassing this Weary Fighter anyways. And like I said before, the Gale Force present in her weapon is the main reason why she's going to be used a lot of the times. And then she has got the Armor Beast transformation, which is going to be giving her distant counter, but that is not something you want to be doing because a lot of the ranged threats nowadays have a lot of pre-combat damage, so they're going to be killing Edelgard before she's going to be able to retaliate back. And a big reason why she used to be a bit annoying to many of the units back in the day was because of her preferred slot B skill in Armored Wall. So this did give her the special fighter effect, so she could get the special charges on both enemies' attacks and her own attacks. This does allow her to retaliate back with bonfires, and she could also inflict the guard effect on the foe in the combat, and she also heals up 7 HP after the combat. But now we do have stuff like Weaving Fighter, which is going to be giving her a lot more consistent damage reduction compared to the damage reduction of Armored Wall, which is only once per phase, and in the first combat you're going to be getting 40% damage reduction from foe's first attack. So it is only going to be there when she's going to be transformed, and transforming is a pretty integral part of her playstyle. So if we're going to be building her up in this Hall of Forms, then you can change her special to Armored Blaze. This is going to be the best premium special to get on a near safe Edelgard. Near saving is a lot more manageable than far saving, and attack defense unity can be the slotty option you can run. You unfortunately cannot have access to Earth Fire Boost as it is not going to be available in this Hall of Forms. So if you really want to get a guard slotty skill, then Fire Flood Boost 3 could be an option, but attack defense unity does work out because most of the time she's just going to be near her allies. So this works out even if you're going to be using her in Aetherite's offense as a Gale Force unit. And then Weaving Fighter is going to be the slot B option if you want to tank with her, because it is going to be better than her preferred slot B skill for the damage reduction, and you can also run Special Fighter in the Sacred Seal to get the guard effect and the special charges. For her slot C, she doesn't really have too many options, and Assault Troop is not really going to be available to her unlike Summer Edelgard, so Near Safe is going to be the option that you can try and run. And if you're going to be using her in Aetherite's offense, then this is a build that I am considering because Gale Force is really fun, and she's one of the few units who can have 3 actions in a Gale Force team. So Armored Blaze can still be the premium special of choice, but in Aetherite's offense you're going to be running Gale Force, and for her slot A you can run Attack Speed Wild, and this is not exactly a meme because this is going to be giving you these special charges, and it is not really relevant if she gets speed or defense. Attack is going to be the main stat when it comes to Gale Forcing. So this is going to be freeing up your Sacred Seal from Bold Fighter, and you can just stack up even more attack, because a lot of the times this is going to be a problem where Fallen Edelgard is not able to one-shot a lot of the units in the game because they just have a lot of damage reduction, but having extra attack can help you in some of the matchups. So this is going to be the skill if you want to just have a Gale Force build for Aetherite. Wings of Mercy 4 is going to be the optimal slot B option, and this does allow you to teleport to Double Fury Winter Edelgard after 2 combats, and also Original Edelgard who can run the AoE build with Special Spiral and nuke the enemy's units with AoE special. which is going to be setting her up to easily get the one-shots. So Wings of Mercy 4 is going to be an amazing option. And then because she's going to be used as a Gale Force unit, you don't really want to use a save skill. So Panic Smoke 4 could come as a clutch skill in many of the matchups, and Fatal Smoke 4 is also going to be helping you against the Miracle effect. If you're going to be having her at higher investment, then you can run the Ploy skill just like Winter Edelgard and ploy the enemies and provide some kind of support to your Gale Force team. Fallen Dimitri is in a bit of a weird spot because he can not really have access to Arcane Lewin as his weapon while still keeping Murderous Lion, because you can only run preferred skills along with arcane weapons, and nowadays the tanks are a lot bulkier compared to when he came out. I actually used to use him quite a lot as a Gale Force unit, but then the bulk of the units just increased and he couldn't really keep up with all of the damage reduction, so that is going to be a bit of a pain point. Unfortunately, his preferred weapon is not really all that good in Vengeful Lance. It doesn't really have minus on special cooldown, it gives him +3 attack, and it does have attack speed solo built in. And as it is, having this kind of solo condition is not the best in a game where you depend a lot on your allies, and he can deal true damage based on 50% of units attack minus foe's defense only if he has got more attack than the foe's defense and the foe cannot make a follow-up attack. So the true damage is locked behind two conditions, which is not the greatest when we have got pre-combat damage given out like candy and even on unhittable weapons nowadays. So you want to change up this weapon, but his preferred slot B skill is still pretty useful because it does give him the Neotrace effect and counter remaining movement, and infantry units don't have easy access to it. And if he's not adjacent to an ally, then he can inflict -3 speed and defense debuff on the foe, and he also gets the sweep effect. So the sweep effect is going to be the main reason why you're going to be using him over other Lance infantry units. He can be used as a generic dodge tank with Arcane Lewin, but he's not going to be all that unique compared to the other Lance infantry units, and we've just got a tuned Sita who does that tanking thing a lot better than Fallen Dimitri ever could. So doubling down on his niche is going to be the way to go, but still you can try and get some expensive skills for his slot B like Speed Defense Tempo 4. So it is going to be giving you the damage reduction piercing and also the tempo effect, which does help with Flash Barrow. And Kumo Naginata is going to be the weapon of choice because it allows you to quad attack while running Murderous Lion, and you also get the warping, so it is going to be a good option. Previously he used to run Ninja Naginata Plus or Ninja Yari Plus, but I do like Kumo Naginata a bit more because of its warping, and the 4 true damage is not really all that insane compared to Ninja Naginata. And No Quarter is going to be the new shiny toy you can try and get on him so that he can pierce the damage reduction, even if you want to use him with the Gale Force build later on. And Flash Barrow is going to be giving you these special charges to trigger Gale Force a lot easily or No Quarter, and attack speed finish can also be an option if you want to get the healing and the true damage. For Slot C, Time Pulse 4 is going to be giving you 4 cooldown Gale Force and 2 cooldown No Quarter, so you're going to be able to trigger No Quarter on your Brave attack. And if you're going to be running him as a Gale Force unit, then you're going to be able to Gale Force off of the Brave hits, which is a lot better than depending on the quad attacks. You can also run Attack Speed Pledge if you're going to be running him with the Finish skill, but if not, then Time Pulse 4 is going to be working out fine. Pulse of Blades can also be an option, and because he's an infantry unit, you can run Infantry Pulse 4 and also Infantry Null Follow-up so that he can support your allies while also benefiting yourself. Winter Bernadetta is a pretty unique unit because of the 1 damage that you can do to yourself and the allies in 2 spaces. This enables the usage of Wings of Mercy and Vantage a lot easily because you can use Ardent Sacrifice or Reciprocal Aid with your allies and fall into the range of those skills. She was the first unit to introduce this, but after that we have gotten other units who can do it, namely Spring Bernie and the original version of Bernadetta, who recently got a weapon refine, and she's the best unit when it comes to giving you the friendly fire damage and also functioning in the combat. Winter Bernie is a bit old, so she only has +6 attack and speed and the 30% damage reduction on foe's first attack, which is not all that unique compared to the weapon refine that we've got on Bernie right now. And the original version of Bernie does have access to Deadeye, and she can easily trigger it with her weapon, and that's something I value quite a lot because many times on Ether 8's offense Gale Force teams, Bernie sometimes has to jump in with Wings of Mercy herself and kill some kind of enemy, and being able to kill that enemy with damage reduction piercing with Deadeye is really valuable. That's not something Winter Bernie can do, and she's a bit older, compared to the other units. Not to mention we also have Tea-Time Lasithia, Brave Lasithia, and Rearmed Sonia who can also enable some of those strats, but they don't really do the friendly fire 1 damage to the other allies. I don't really use Winter Bernie all that much right now because I value the extra HP on my Gale Force initiators for being immune to the Hex traps, but still you can use Winter Bernie for your Gale Force teams and especially for the Vantage teams. And if you're going to be getting her Forma, then you can get Flared Sparrow and Occultist Strike combo, which is going to be giving you that pre-combat damage. And you can also run Speed Resistance Fortress, which is minimum going to be giving you Canto 1, so that is available in this Hall of Forms. And if you're going to be using her in Aether Raid's offense, then Wings of Mercy 4 is definitely something you can try and get. Desperation 4 is also something she can make use of because of the friendly fire 1 damage that she can do, and same goes for Escape Route 4. But I do like the Fortress skill a bit more because you can get more than just Canto 1, and inside attack speed is going to be the slotsy option if you want to get more stats and the visible buffs. But Fatal Smoke 4 and Panic Smoke 4 and Joint Drive skills can be an option, especially for Aether Raid's offense. Sothis is easily one of the worst Aether Raid's defense mythics that we have got because she doesn't really provide any kind of support, and her Weapon Refine was pretty underwhelming as well. So Sublime Surge does have the immunity against the dragon affected weapons. It does have Distant Counter built in as well, so you'd only have to use Distant Counter Dragon Sacred Seal, and then with the Weapon Refine she's able to get +4 to all of her stats and the 40% damage reduction, which is not really much when it's only on foe's first attack. Serious Plus is going to be her remix scale, which at least gives her Null Guard, which is a lot more valuable than her entire Weapon Refine, and it does scale off based off her speed. You're only going to be getting Sothis if you're a big Sothis fan because there's really not much of a reason to use her in Aether Raid's defense in Vault of Heaven, even in her bonus seasons, because she's not all that threatening. She's in a weird spot as a Aether Raid's defense mythic because she's not going to be tanking all that much as a defense unit, and you want to provide the support to your allies. So if you're going to be getting her in this Hall of Forms, then you can run Dragonstone Plus, which is a lot better than her Weapon Refine because it gives her the flat damage reduction and the full null follow-up effect. So that's a lot more valuable honestly because you can just run Distant Counter, Dragon Sacred Seal, and because of the Null Guard in her special, you can run Attack Speed Finish and get the healing and the true damage. Attack Speed Scal 4 is also an option at like absolute max investment with the Resistance Boon. So if you want to really get that Scal effect, then it is something you can do, but most of the times the finish skill is going to be a lot better. And for her slot B, you can get Counter Roar so that you can stack up the damage reduction with the flat damage reduction that she's got in her weapon. So this is going to be pierceable damage reduction, but still it is good for tanking. If you really want to get the damage reduction piercing, then Magical Null follow-up could be run with Sublime Surge. And if you're going to be using her a lot more in Aether Raid's defense, then Wings of Mercy 4 is something you can try and grab. Attack Speed Pledge is going to be the slotsy option you can run so that you can retaliate back with Serious Plus, and it is going to be having good synergy with the Null Guard in her special. But if you want to run her with Time Pulse 4, then that's also an option. And if you're going to be giving her Emblem Marth, then Attack Speed Oath 4 could be run as she's still going to be able to retaliate back with the special. And if you want to run her in Aether Raid's defense and provide some support to your team, then Counter Control or Infantry Pulse 4 could be an option. Next month we should be having our first Engage Hall of Forms because of the reruns that they have scheduled. There are going to be Legend units appearing in the Heroes Hall of Forms, so that's why we could have an educated guess about Engage getting its first Hall of Forms. And there are not a lot of units that can appear in Engage Hall of Forms, so Chloe, Celine, and Etier seem to be really solid options. And Summer Ivy could also be a unit that could appear if they really want to have another summer unit and not have Celine as the magical option. In the red, I think that we're probably going to be having female Lear, or if they want to change to male Lear, and Lumera could also be an option, but basically we're going to be having this kind of Hall of Forms, which you can try and expect next month. You can click the link on the screen right now to check out my breakdown of Divine Codes 5. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell because YouTube set boxes are about as functional as Sothis' support in Aether Raid's defense. So with that said, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.